Hello, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting. You'll have to excuse the voice. The cold just seems to be getting worse and not wanting to go away. So I'm feeling a bit and sounding incredibly bunged up and not particularly healthy. But this is day 2 of my Stampiversary series of videos, taking some old projects that I've done before and redoing them, but also getting some inspiration that I found online and creating some projects, just putting my own spin on it. And this is what I'm going to be doing today. I had intended on doing a 3D project, and then I saw this, and I've always wanted to know how people manage to get a pattern onto the beautiful you lady onto her dress, and it's actually really simple, and I just want to show you how simple that is. So we've got a card that's just lots and lots of layers, and I'm going to show you how I've done that. It's actually really easy. I only do stuff that's simple. I really don't like faffing about with things, and that's why I've chosen this particular project. So let me show you how I did that. So I start off with a normal card base. So this is a piece of Rococo Rose, one of our new in colours, and this measures 8 1/4 by 5 7/8, and I've scored down the long side at 4 1/8, and then that creates my card base. And then, as you can see, I've just got all of these layers. So as you start to cut this up, you actually end up with scraps. So then I've got a piece of basic black, and that basic black measures 4 inches by 5 3/4. So I'm just going to stick that on the back, and I'm using Tombow for this. When I'm card making, that is my glue of choice, just because you've just got room to maneuver the card into place before it sets. So this is a portrait card, but doesn't have to be. You can make this in landscape if you wanted to. Depends on the image that you're using. And so there's the black, and then we also have a layer of white, and that white measures 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. You can see my light's doing something funny there, so I'm just going to move that. I was hoping it was going to be sunnier today, that's why I started filming, and actually it's been really dull today. We've had some lovely hot weather, but it's not as warm today, unfortunately. So that's me staying in and crafting. So there are our layers there. I love having a black layer. I think it just makes the other colours really stand out and really pop. That black just makes the white stand out so much more and gives it a good contrast against the pink. So there's those 3 layers, and then we do those layers exactly the same again, but slightly smaller. So I've got a piece of Rococo Rose here that measures 3 1/8 by 3. So that's going to sit on there. A piece of basic black that measures 3 inches by 2 7/8. So that's going to sit there like that. And then I've got a piece of Whisper White that measures 2 3/4 by 2 7/8. And I'm going to muck about with this bit first. So I'm going to stamp on that, and you'll see that I've already stamped on this. So I've stamped onto, this is the in colour paper stack, and this gingham, and I love a bit of gingham, is in Rococo Rose, and I've just stamped this stamp set on it. So I've taken this one. I really love this image. I think it's lovely. So I've just stamped that onto there. I'm also going to stamp it onto the white. So there's my block. Let's help if you take the lid off. Ink it up. Let's just get that ink out of the way. I'm incredibly messy with ink. And I'm going to just line that on there and get that as central as I possibly can. So there we have our image. Now for some cards, just that black and white image is more than enough, and that's, you know, really nice, or you can colour them in. I like using, here's my ever growing collection of blends, and you can colour those in using the blends. But this particular technique does it slightly differently. So what I did was stamp that image onto there, and then I cut it out. I fussy cut, so I chopped off her legs, a bit drastic, chopped off her arms, and all I kept was the hat, the hair and the dress, and I was left with that. I wasn't going to cut that out on camera. I've got quite poor eyesight, and it is far easier if I just do that off camera. You don't need to see that. It's quite painful to watch. So what I'm going to do is glue that onto there like that. Excuse me. So just a little bit of glue on there. And let's get the hat down first. Get that pretty much in place, and then let the rest drop down. And when you think that's in place, then leave it alone, and let's just press that down like that. So the other thing that I did with that, and I've put my blend down. I am rubbish at putting stuff away. I mean, just not a little bit bad. Absolutely rubbish. There it is. I've got my Balmy Blue Light stamping blend. So I'm going to take the paintbrush end, and I'm just going to put a little bit of blue on there. She's dancing in a puddle. Well, I think it's a puddle. She might be paddling in the sea for all I know. I don't know. So I'm going to keep it like that. On my original, which I put down somewhere, I did actually colour in her skin, and it makes it's not right. Nobody's got skin that pink. So I'm not going to colour in the skin. I'm just going to keep it like that. So we're now ready to put this together, but there's something I want to do first, and I want to round those corners. And I'm going to round that. I'll just go and grab it. I knew there was something I didn't bring with me, with the Detail Trio punch. So all of these corners I'm going to round. And then my camera's going to shake because the table's shaking. You don't have to do this bit. It's entirely up to you. Going to sit in there like that, and then finally just do these final four. Okay, hoover them up later. So we're going to layer this exactly the same again, just as we did before. That's not round the right way, like that. So let's start, we'll get the black onto the pink. Just before that dries completely, just get that central, and then just then drop that one onto there, and just want to wiggle that a little bit. There we are, we have that, and that is now ready to sit on there like that. So more glue, So I'm going to put that towards the top of the card. Like that. Now, this bit, you're going to need some scraps. So I've got a little bit of that. That's not quite enough. Oh, there are my scraps. I did actually put them to one side. So I'm going to do the same layering. So I'm going to start with the Rococo Rose, and I have this pretty punch called the Pretty Label Punch. Why can't I now remember what it's called? Anyway, it's a pretty something punch. So I'm just going to punch halfway like that. So it's just halfway, just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact. And you want 2 of those. Like that. So they're going to sit over there. I'm going to do the same in the black. So I've got 2 of them. I won't do the white just yet. We'll stamp it first. So they're going to sit like that. Just get your placement right first before you start gluing. So you want a gap in between those 2. And then you are going to place this one just a little bit further down like that. And you're going to do the same with this one. So you still need to have a gap. So before you start gluing this to the paper, to the card rather, you do need to make sure that there is a little bit of a gap in between. It's far easier to do when you're gluing it down. I'll glue it in a second. So we've then got this last piece of scrap, and I have my ink block somewhere. Well, there it is, right in front of me. And I'm going to be using this, Celebrate. I'll stick with the Stays On ink. Just ink up my stamp. And stamp there. Back with the punch. Oops, get that out of the way. And then get that nice and central. I'm being a bit cack-handed with this. Nice and central there. Grip it, punch it. And then what will happen is that will sit over there like that. So let's get these glued. So let's start off with the pink, and then we are almost done. It's quite a quick card, this. I'm a slow fussy cutter because my eyes are so poor. But if you're quite a quick fussy cutter, you can have this project done in no time. Probably, well, definitely less than 10 minutes. Once you've got everything cut and the right size, no time at all. Let's put that one there. So we want quite a big gap there. And then with our black, and that's just going to sit just a tad down from the pink. We'll do that again, but with the bottom one. Probably could have done with a bit more of a gap in between there. But we've got a gap. And then that is going to sit. So that's fine. Happy with that. Panic over. I did worry that that wasn't going to fit. So I'm going to use dimensionals for this. No taffy crafting project is complete without some dimensionals. Got a few there. Not my usual 2. I'm starting to get a bit more generous with my dimensionals. Karen Egan, if you're watching. And then we're going to sit that, because you just want to try and cover up that join there and that join there. So just lay it down very gently first in case you need to move it. If it actually unsticks itself from my thumb, it might actually be able to drop down. There we are. And I'm just going to press that down. Got that down first time. And there we go. Little celebrate card. Wonder if I've got some gemstones that will go on that. Just to finish it off. I have. I can see some now. So we've got these little gemstones, which are lovely and pretty. Can sometimes just finish off a card just right. I need to find my tweezers. Got my tweezers. So I'm going to put just some little ones. I'm going to put one there, yeah, one there. Couldn't quite decide then what was going to go on. And I'm going to put one there as well. It just finishes it off. Do I want to put any anywhere else? No. I think there's enough going on that card. So there we have, using the beautiful used stamp set, as well as our new in colours in the cardstock and in the DSP. We've used some blends, we've got some rhinestones, got this absolutely lovely stamp set. This is only part of it. It's a 2-part stamp set. And I hope you like it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Tomorrow is day 3 and I haven't yet thought up what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have a bit of a plan now. I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.